Hey there, I'm Mark, the other guy in the canoe. In this video I'm going to show you an overnight that me and John did in my backyard, testing out a ice fishing shelter that I purchased on liquidation to use as a hot tent. We put my homemade stove in it and essentially ran all kinds of tests, how the stove worked, what did what on the stove, temperatures. We cooked supper on it, essentially spent the day outside from probably around anywhere between 2:30 all the way to the next morning. So yeah, it went relatively well. There's a couple of things I'm going to do to it. The two roofs meet in the middle and there's a seam, and because the shelters aren't waterproof or seam sealed, the next day when there was snow, I re-stoked the fire and the snow started to melt and it started coming through that seam. So I will seam that one joint, but other than that it went well. We had a thermometer on both sides of the tent at first, and then I put the second thermometer outside just to see how cold it got over the night, and how much the temperature dropped within the tent once the stove died down a little bit. But all in all, I think it was a success, and I hope you enjoy watching the video. Yeah, so I think Tanya and Edgar are going to get their own hotel room.
Okay.
Tanya's coming now too, so. You bring your chair? Or?
I don't think he's going to compress too much.
Probably not.
It was up before.
Okay, so right now the stove jack's on this side.
Yeah, you might want to go towards your
We'll
backyard.
turn it around so that way we can get in and out from this side. nice once these things will be able to stay around.
I beg your pardon?
So it'd be so nice once these things stay around. Okay. Hi. So here I have a welding blanket to try and stop the heat from the stove melting the snow underneath. I do have a piece of plywood underneath there as well. And then I used a high temperature silicone baking mat. Time being until the stove jack comes in from Amazon. I think it's come from overseas, so might take some time. But this should do the job. I've seen other people use these, so should be all good. Outside, temporary, very heavy steel spike, the stove, and then we have the stove jack here where I used high temperature silicone gasket maker to stick that onto the tent. So, yeah, should do the job.
Okay, while Mark gets the fire started, I'm sitting on my ass drinking a Unibrew Ephemer beer. It's the black currant and the wheat. It's a tasty beer, but I wouldn't have more than one.
Black currant.
Definitely very fruity.
This paper is enough to Okay, we got the flue completely open to get the fire started, and using some unwanted paper from work to get it going. Sounds crackly. Quarter, 10 to 3. Cheers, man. See how this works out. Hey, so we are sitting in the hot tent. We kind of closed off the doors and we're just chilling out here. The thermometer on the hot side of the tent is reading 29 degrees, and where we're going to be sleeping tonight is 13 degrees. The indicator that I got for the stack is holding where it's supposed to be, so that's good. And we're just kind of playing around with the damper and the door and everything just to see what everything does, because we're by no means wood stove experts. So, yeah, so there's John over there on the cooler side, which is still yeah. So anyway, we're gonna see if what we can do here, if we can get it down to a reasonable temperature, because both of us are really hot sleepers, and we're probably gonna die tonight. So we'll probably end up venting doors.
We'll have to vent doors or something.
Yeah. But I mean, everything's working properly. It's hot. It's a tent, so therefore it's a hot tent. So Edgar's gonna come by after supper. We're gonna have some beers together and chill out in a hot tent in the backyard, and probably talk about upcoming trips. Hey, so me and John are here testing the stove. Probably get some water going for the spaghetti noodles in a little bit, but seems to be working well. Probably have to make a modification to the damper in the front of the stove, because it doesn't seem like there's enough air coming through. There's plenty of air coming through if I crack the door about a 1/4 inch, but yeah, I want to be able to keep the door closed and damper it off. So yeah, no, but it's comfortable in here. It's 32 degrees up top, so it's probably about 27 where we're sitting. We have both the doors in the tent cracked to have an airflow, but no, we're pretty good. Okay, so we got the spaghetti going here, stove, and then next to John's spaghetti noodles here that fell on the floor, we have the sauce keeping warm underneath the fire, underneath the stove, and yeah, seems to be working out.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, so Edgar came to join us, have a couple of beers by the hot tent stove here, and
I'm sweating.
Yeah, well, we had to open all the windows.
I've been here for 5 minutes and I'm sweating.
Yeah, so essentially Edgar took off his jacket and he was just saying how he's going to be in like just his briefs within 5 minutes.
Yeah, pretty
so
much.
Me and G's we're gonna go in the house.
Oh, come on, won't be the first time.
Well, the first time you're not wearing G's underwear, so. Okay, so quick update. It's almost 9. Me and John have been out here since 2:30. I went into the house for a couple of things, but not much. And yeah, I mean, things are holding up pretty well. It's let's see, 21 degrees in the hot tent, -9 outside. And yeah, Edgar brought us his little egg light, which made a big difference from that thing over there. But yeah, it's comfortable. You guys?
Yep.
Which?
All good.
All good in the hood. Hey, so the overnight test in the backyard with the hot tent worked out pretty well. Got cool around 2. I guess the fire kind of snuffed itself out, and John got up and put some more wood in the fire. So we kind of loaded the stove around 11:30, and then it snuffed, or it went down around 2, and then once again at 4. So yeah, kind of know how much wood we're going to need if we want to do an overnight, maybe at Mew Lake or something like that. But I mean, all in all, I might do a couple of modifications to the front vent in the stove, but we got it up pretty good last night. It was, I think, the hottest we were able to get it in here was like 37, which I couldn't even breathe. But afterwards, once we, figured out how everything worked and how the stove was adjusting, we were able to get it to a comfortable temperature without venting the tent around 20, 21, 22. But no, I think it was a success for trial run, and I kind of like the fact that we can stand up here wherever we are in the tent. Like it's it's 6+ feet easy, which is one of the things that I wasn't a fan of with the actual hot tents that they sell. They're more like a teepee. But yeah, a couple of modifications, and we'll see you on the next one.